Hey guys, welcome to Budget with a July Dreamer. My name is Miranda, and on this channel I talk about personal finance, specifically sharing tips on how to save, how to invest, as well as how to budget. If these topics are of interest to you, then do not forget to subscribe to this channel and give this video a like whilst you're here. So today's video I want to talk about some of the money mistakes that I made in my 20s. This is not to say I'm still not making money mistakes, but I'm actually learning and I've improved since my 20s. So I am hoping this video will be helpful to some of you who are still in your 20s, or maybe you're in your 30s and have made these mistakes as well, or are still making them, and I hope I'll be able to help you and guide you through how to manage money better. So I'll start off by saying I'm not a financial advisor in any shape or form. The advice that I give on my channel in any of my videos is based off of my personal experience and is for educational purposes, but not to influence you with your own personal finance. Personal finance is personal. So from this video you can take and you can pick and choose what you want to take and use in your personal life. Now that that disclaimer is out of the way, let's get right into it. So number one, my first money mistake in my 20s, I think even late teens, early 20s, was not understanding how credit cards work. You guys, first of all, I was tempted by this company. I was 18. First of all, this company approached me. It's like, oh, you can get a credit card and you don't have to pay anything for the next 6 months. I'm like, okay, I can do that. Like, it sounded so appealing to my 18-year-old self. I got the credit card. I didn't use it straight away. I kind of just sat on it for a while, and then when I did start spending on it, Lord Jesus, like, I should have learned before I started using a credit card. And I think this is what is so important. Before I don't subscribe to the thought that credit cards are bad. People are bad with money. Essentially, credit card companies know that at some point you will F up and they will make money off you. Literally, it's not that they are bad in themselves. Sure, sometimes they dangle a carrot in front of you when you are in a precarious situation and you end up taking it. But again, it's all about how you manage that money. So I would tell you what I do now. I do have a credit card with American Express. It's a card I love and I use it all the time. I know that my statement gets produced, I think, on the 19th. So before the 15th of any month, I clear the balance. Whatever balance I have, I clear, so that I don't get to pay them any fees. There are months when we cannot pay the whole balance, but this is why money management comes in. You need to know that whatever you're spending on your credit card, you can pay off. If you cannot pay off, at least pay more than the minimum, because this is where the credit card company gets us, in that if you just pay the minimum amount, they will then add interest. So whatever minimum you've paid, they take out interest, which means whatever you've paid towards the principal is actually lower than what you think you've paid. So this is why it's very important that if you're going to spend money on your credit card, pay it off completely that month. And if you cannot, then try not to use your credit card. Maybe use your debit card, or maybe wait until you have money to spend on whatever it is that you want to spend money on, because whenever you carry a balance, that accrues interest, and then you start paying credit card companies this interest. And we're not trying to make them richer than they already are. Okay, so my first money mistake was not learning how to use credit cards correctly. Carrying a balance, I don't think is a good idea. I think if you are going to carry a balance on a credit card, you can't afford to pay off the entire balance that month, then it's probably best not to buy that thing at that time, or maybe not even use a credit card. But if it's unavoidable, then just make sure that when you do repay back, you repay more than the minimum. So if the minimum is, say, like £15 and the interest is £8, then that's mad. So probably try aiming to pay back maybe £50, so that the blow is softer this way, but still, it still gets charged interest, and that's what sucks. So this was my first money mistake. My second one is related to credit cards, but it's payday loans. Let's take a moment and mourn my stupidity, or lack of understanding. Payday loans I personally think they're evil. When you're in dire need of them, they are not. But I just feel like they are the worst things ever because of the high interest that they carry. 113% interest. Are you mad? Like, but this is something that we've seen in the UK time and time again. People still go back to these payday loan companies, and not that I'm against payday loan, so long as, same thing with the credit card, whatever you borrow you can pay it back earlier. And also, if there's a way for you to avoid paying them interest, find one of those companies that you can, because most of them still charge you daily rate. Like, figure it out first, do all of the calculations before you get one. My biggest problem was the fact that I wasn't earning enough money, and I got a loan, a payday loan that was more than what I earned, which meant that immediately I paid it back, I needed to borrow that money back to live a life. And that was really, really hard and difficult, and I couldn't break through that cycle. So this is why I don't encourage people getting payday loans. Again, sometimes depending on your financial situation, it might be unavoidable, but I would really take a hard look at that before going for a payday loan. If I was to choose between a payday loan and a credit card, I would choose a credit card. Honestly, I would choose a credit card over a payday loan, because with payday loans I was burned because I wasn't knowledgeable again about payday loans. I think I just fell into that cycle that I could not shift no matter what. Sorry, my phone just buzzed. Looking at that. And then my third money mistake that I made was not budgeting. Like I have said in many of my videos, and even on my website julidreamer.com, is that I've been budgeting for many years, but in my late teens, early 20s, this is not something that I did actively. And then when I did start budgeting, I wasn't really, so long as my rent and my bills were paid, I mean, when I say bills, like utility bills, not the debt that I had, I really wasn't too fussed about it. And this was obviously not the ideal way to deal with problems, you know, to deal with debt. You know, you can't just ignore it. And that was one of my biggest things, that I ignored it. Like, literally, I ignored it. And this is where all my troubles came from. So I have learned now over the years the best you know, practices around budgeting. I don't ignore anything. I know where all my money is going. I mean, we do have, you know, things that come up every now and again, but this is why I keep a buffer in my budget, so that when those things do come up, I do have the money to cover them. If I have to use my credit card for anything, and I mean anything, I have to make sure that before my statement comes through, I will be able to make that payment. So before the 19th, I know that I should be able to make that payment, or make sure that my utilization for that credit card is less than 30%. I don't like to use more than that. But there are times when, again, I understand it's unavoidable, and, you know, things happen. So these were my 3 money mistakes that I made. So the first one was not understanding credit card, you know, how to use a credit card. Second one was payday loans, and again, not understanding how they work, and also not doing more research around payday loans and looking for the ones that offer better interest rates, because the ones that I had, at least the ones that I had available to me because of my credit score at that time, made it just the worst position to be in, because I could only get the worst interest rates ever. And then the third one was obviously not budgeting. And obviously on this channel I talk about budgeting, and every single month I share with you my real budget, real numbers of how I budget for everything from my utilities, from my money saving goals, through to my investments. So if those topics of interest you, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. If you've got questions about budgeting, or maybe you want to share also some of the money mistakes that you've made so far in your life, leave them in the comment section below. I love talking to you guys, and I'll check them out for sure. So yeah, so this is what I wanted to share in this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, do not forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel so you can be made aware when I make new content. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.